I'm Laura Ingraham, and this is the Ingraham Angle from Washington tonight. Now, the list of what qualifies as racist grows by the day. Gas stoves, English grammar, mathematics, words like master bedroom and field office. Can't say them. And now we add to that automobiles and driving in general. A new piece by Sammy Roth in the LA Times provides a window into the insanity that is the modern liberal mind. The piece, titled "How White and Affluent Drivers Are Polluting the Air Breathed by LA's People of Color," says that Mr. Roth is racked by guilt for how he's driving on the 405 to the Valley, and it's not only growing his carbon footprint, he's fueling other racist outcomes as well. He said, "I couldn't help but consider my own complicity while reading a new study from USC researchers. It found that Angelenos who drive more tend to be exposed to less air pollution, and Angelenos who drive less tend to be exposed to more pollution." Now, the argument is that low-income communities of color were torn apart to make way for freeways over the decades, while the whiter, richer neighborhoods don't have to deal with the traffic or the freeways. This, the left claims, constitutes environmental racism.
Environmental racism. It's about policies and practices that discriminate against communities of color by making them live near landfills, sewage plants, and other polluting facilities.
By making people live near landfills? Or making people live next to polluting facilities? Well, that's obviously ridiculous. And this is obviously not about race. It's about poverty. And who's to blame for the generational poverty that has plagued minority neighborhoods in the United States? Liberals, of course, who thought that they could replace the nuclear family with big government. That's who. The fact is, their policies have failed Black America on everything from crime to the economy to education. So now all they can do is try to blame America itself. In the practice of racial grievance, this has become its own subspecialty.
Environmental racism, while not always the most visible form, is also widespread. So when is enough enough?
When is enough enough? Translation: open your wallet and get ready for environmental reparations. Blue states have already set up their own offices of environmental justice that end up harassing business owners into forking over money and even land to make things right. And Leave It to Pete has made environmental justice one of his main priorities.
What we're doing is we are reconnecting people who may have been disconnected or divided by discriminatory decisions in the past. I don't know why anybody would be against reconnecting people who have been divided by discriminatory decisions in the past. And again, the point is not to make America feel guilty. The point is to make America better and more equitable.
Equitable is just a buzzword for making it easier for the government to take money and opportunities from people who earn them, and then spend those monies on sustainability projects that make their donors and their cronies rich. Also, if freeways are racist, the king of bigots must be President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who commissioned the construction of 41,000 miles of highway in the Federal Highway Act of 1956. I want you to meet the godfather of the environmental justice movement, Robert Bullard.
When we talk about infrastructure, in the past, infrastructure like highways and roads, that infrastructure was detrimental to many communities, Black and brown communities, and destroyed stable communities. So we have to be careful not to assume that all infrastructure is created equal.
People actually write those lines. Of course, what this is really all about is control. Democrats don't have any real plans to raise the general standard of living for working people, white, Black, brown. In fact, they're doing the opposite. They're wrecking our economy with out-of-control spending and by limiting our oil and gas sector. Inflation and high prices disproportionately hurt minorities. So all the Democrats right now have to offer is a life where you have to get used to living with less, traveling less, having less. Cars and the highways we drive on, though, think about it, they symbolize free movement, a land of endless possibilities. But let's face it, the party on the left gave up on America, that America, long ago. And if they had their druthers, The suburbs will become just one big extension of the cities. Home values destroyed by high-rise development for more equitable green living. Remember, this was an important goal of President Obama, and you've probably noticed the explosion of so-called affordable housing projects going up in small-town America. That means bye-bye suburbs. And that's the entire point.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.